Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's MISys Tips and Tricks video. This week we want to talk to you about your purchase planning, your cash outlays. You definitely want to make sure that you have a good cash flow balance in your business. And this might be difficult to achieve if you're getting with last minute surprise purchases of large inventory requirements. So instead, MISys offers you a possibility to plan ahead for any of your raw material purchases and to have that reflected in your accounting. So one way to do this is using the planning module in MISys. We can go and create a scheduling batch. I currently have created one for our October and December 2021 expected sales. Notice that these are all finished goods sales that I am hoping to make between October and December of this year. So what I want to do is I want to know when I need to buy the required materials for these items and how much it's going to cost me. And yet I don't want to do this in a test database. I want to be able to use my live database and do all these transactions there and yet not create garbage data at the end of it. So what do? Once we have our scheduling batch ready and saved, we can go to master production schedules and create a new schedule. And we can call this test 01, cash outlay 01. We can look ahead maybe to the period that we were referring to. That has to be our planning horizon. We only want to really look at October 1st to December 31st. That's our planning horizon. I don't want to set any shortage basis, and I want to run an empty schedule. This is saying that a completely empty warehouse. It's not going to look at any of the manufacturing orders or work orders I have in the system. It's not going to look at any of the inventory I currently have in the system. It's looking only and only on to the items that are going to be posted with that scheduling batch we just created. I want to run it for one location. Let's save and initialize. We go post a batch, select the batch we have created, post it. When we go to summary, we see the two items that we had populated with forecast. If I select any one of them, here are the scheduled transfer to sales, which are my sales items, and my current initial stock is at 0. Can do the second one as well. Current stock is at 0. Again, bunch of transfer to sales. But I'm not interested in finished goods. I'm not trying to plan production. So when I hit resolve all shortages, the MRP module just goes through and blows through all of the ingredients required to build these items. Now, if I create an MRP, I forgot to set the filters, but it's not really important. I can say yes here, and I want to create the purchase orders. It really doesn't matter that I didn't set the filters because we don't buy the finished goods anyways. If you have any assembled items that you tend to make in-house or buy, you have both options that you can practice. And if in this case you want to include them in purchasing, you can check this box here and it will include those items that have both options available as a purchase item here. I don't, so I will not include this. So you notice I need to buy packaging materials and raw materials to be able to fulfill this. And there is different dates that I need to buy this. If I want to be very exact in the timing of my cash outlays, whether it's by weeks or by months, I can actually create the purchase orders in that way. Or if I don't really care, then I can just go hit buy all, which will create a purchase order for each of these dates. So let's hit buy all. And one important thing here, we want to do is that we want to make sure we click this option where it says do not release POs, because a custom report that we're going to use is going to look at inactive POs, and we are going to notice that our POs are going to be starting now with number 30. So from 30 till whatever number the POs are created, we're going to run our cash outlay report and then go and delete those inactive POs from the system once we have our report, so we're not creating data pollution in the system. We can identify a shipping location, order mode as required or multiples of reorder. That's really up to you, however you purchase your items. Again, same for supplier selection priority. These are really our settings for how we run MRP. You can decide which supplier to issue the purchase orders. In this case, you're not really issuing purchase orders, so you are just trying to calculate the cash outlay. So we click on create orders, and this screen shows us a line per each line of the purchase order. So you'll see that purchase order 30 is listed a few times, all the way till, oh, there's only 2 purchase orders that are created. So I can now close this. Okay. Yes. Now the important thing here is that one thing you have to make sure is that you don't have any other inactive purchase orders in your system. That these ones that we just created should be the only ones. So you can go to reports and we can create this custom report for you in about 2 hours, PO cash outlay. And I can just run this, or I can say, you know what, there are other inactive purchase orders in my system, so let me select the ones that I just created. It's from PO 30 to all the way to the end, or I can actually specify it and say PO 30 and 31. Let's look at this. And here we go. PO 30 is going to admin's packaging, and I have a bunch of items here at different dates for a total of $44,000, or I can get date level um, values. And then I have PO 31 going to Snowcap, and I have a bunch of raw materials that I'm buying from them, each with its own date detail. And when I go all the way to the bottom, I can see that a lump sum number of 44,000 Canadian dollars is actually going to be required for these 3 months of production. So this is how I calculate my cash outlay. Once I have this report, I can close my report, go to purchasing, and say these two, well, I do not need these purchase orders, so delete purchase order 30 and delete purchase order 31. And I am done. The system is back to its original state in terms of purchase orders. And now I have a report and an understanding of how much money I'm going to require to invest in raw materials between between October and December of this year. I hope this helps you use MISys more effectively.